Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video. So today is day 8 of our 30 days of JavaScript challenge. So now we have completed our basic array transformations and we will be moving towards function transformations. So we have these 4 questions in our function transformation in our JavaScript challenge. Now before moving on to the first question, that is function composition, let's know what is a function. So if you have gone through any coding language, then basically we know that function is a block of statement that is used to perform a special task, right? So here also JavaScript has the same thing, and in our previous videos we have seen that how we can declare a function. We use the function keyword in order to declare a function. So let's see how we are printing hello world. So if we name a function called greet, right, and we use function to declare it, then when we console log hello world, then we can call it using just greet with parenthesis. Just like any other coding language, we can call the function in JavaScript also. So here we are not passing any arguments. This is just a normal function without any parameters. Now let's see another example. So let's say we have a function add, okay, and it is taking two numbers or two parameters, and what it is returning the sum of two values. So how we are sending the argument values, we will be calling the function name with the values in it. Like let's say we pass 2 comma 3, so this function will accept 2 and 3 here, and it will return the sum of it. So in our output, what we will get, we will receive 5. Now in JavaScript we have one more way to declare a function, okay. So we can declare a function in object also. How do we declare a function in object? Here what is happening, we are using only greet as we can see here, but the thing is, this is shorthand representation. What this means basically, that the key value of our function is also greet and the function name is also greet. So directly we are just writing greet here, okay. So what we are doing here, we are printing our name. Hello, my name is, we have assigned taken a key named name and it carries John Doe. So it will print hello, my name is John Doe. So what is the use of this, right? This carries all the values that is in that at that instant in the web browser, or according to that in this object right now, whatever values are there, this will carry that object. So this person will be in this. This has person, okay. So when we try to access name, right, so when we are using this dot name, which means basically that we are calling the name key from the person object, okay. And in order to call this function, what we can do, we have this object, right. So what we can do, we can write the object name, and how do we call how do we access a key in our object? By using dot, right. So what we will do, normally we will call the function, and the other way to call a function or a key, how to access the object key is, we will be using person, and let's say we want to access this name, okay. So what we will do, we will use square brackets and in single inverted commas we will write name. So this will return us the value as John Doe. If we console log this value, then it will be returning John Doe. So this is basically our object, how to declare a function in an object. Now we have seen this, let's move on to the question. So the question here is function composition, okay. So let's see what this question means here. So in this, what we have been given, we have been given an array of functions. Okay, like we have an array and we have many functions inside of it, f1, f2, f3. Okay, and now what we have to return, like if we have f1, f2, f3, okay, and we have also been given a value x. So let's say for an example, we have a functions array and it has value x is equal x. I am using arrow function here, so it is 2 into x, and the other one is x is equals to or x into x. Let's say this is the one. Okay, and now we have the x value as 2. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to pass this x in each of these functions such that first this will be evaluated and then this will be evaluated. So let's say if this is f of x and then this is g of x, what we need to return the value as, if we are storing a value, then it should return f of g of x. Okay, so what is happening here, if we are passing 2 here, okay, so it will return 2 into 2, that is 4, right? So it should it is returning 4 here. Now f of x will carry f of 4. Okay, so basically what was happening, g was carrying g of 2, f of g of 2, and now this value returned 4, right? So now f will calculate f of 4. So our final value should be 2 into 4, which is 8. Okay, so now we have seen how this value will be returned, right? Now let's see one more example. So we have been given this array of functions. Okay, so we have x is equals to x plus 1 and x, where this is an arrow function, right? All of these are arrow functions. So now what we have to do, if we consider this function as f of x, this is g of x, this is h of x. Okay, so now what we have to do, we need to return f of g of h of x. Okay, so how this will work, the value of x is given here as 4, right? So we have to pass f of g of h of 4. Okay, now first the last value will be calculated, and what this function is returning here, it is returning x only. So we have passed x as 4. Now it will return 2 into 4, right? So it will be returning 8. Now our f of g of this h of 8 will be given as 8, right? So it will carry f of g of 8. Now we have g of 8 as x into x, right? So what we will do here 8 into 8, and the value will also be stored in x only and it will be returned as x. So what it will carry, we will have to calculate value for f of 8 into 8. What is that? It is 64. So we will be returning f of 64. Now we have the last function and it's returning x as x plus 1, right? So what we will do, we will return 64 plus 1, which is 65. So our final value returned should be 65, right? Now let's move on and see how we have to do this question. So in our code, we have been given template as, we have been given that function, it has been declared already and it has an array as parameter and it is called functions. Okay, and it is also returning a function which is carrying x. Okay, so this is a function, it has parameter x and it is getting returned. Now what do we need to write in this? Okay, now before moving on to this, if there is one more case, like when the array does not contain any function or the array is empty, then we just need to return the value of x. Okay, so in this function, one step what we have to do, we need to see the array length, and if it is equals to 0, then what we need to do, we just need to return the x value which is being passed here. Okay, so here what we will do, we will calculate the length of functions, which is the array. So functions is the array of function. Okay, So our array name is functions, which is carrying 2 or 3 number of function. Okay, so let's say the length of our function is 3. So now we know that we will be calculating the length of the functions array, and we will be performing some tasks inside this function. So let's see what we will be doing inside this function. So first step, what we have to do, we need to check the length of the array is equals to 0 or not, and if it is 0, then what we need to do, we just need to return x. Okay, so now we have returned x here. If it is not so, then what we need to do, we need to perform some task here, right? Some steps. So the first step, what we will do, we have been given x as an initial value, right, which will be passed in the array function. So we will be having a loop here, so that we will be iterating each array, right, each array. So what we will do, we will be iterating the array in reverse order, so that we get the last one first, and after that the if we have three functions, so the second index we will get first, then the first index, and the 0th index. So how we will start? We will start from I is equals to n minus 1 to I is greater than equals to 0, and it will continue till I less than or equals to 0, and we will be doing I minus minus. Now the initial value, whatever we are storing in the result, will be x, right? So what we will do here, we will write here result is equals to x. Fine, now we have a result, and what we need to do, we just need to pass this result, right, in the function. If we have x plus 1, right, so this is a function. When we pass x here, what it will do, it will perform x plus 1 as a task, and it will return the value. So each and every function will have a parameter as x. What we will do here, therefore, we will have to get the value in same result only, so that it's getting updated every time. Now we have functions, this is the array, and we need to get the function at each index. So what we will do, we will be iterating on each index, and we will pass the function some parameter here. So what parameter we will pass here, we have to pass x for the first time, right? Therefore what we did, we initialized a variable with the x, so that for the first time we don't have to perform one extra statement. Now we will pass this result here only. So here the result is getting passed, and now let's say at the last index we have x is equals to means x is getting 2 into x, right? So we are passing here x as, let's say x value is 4 only. Okay, so we are passing here 4, and it will be returned as 2 into 4, that is 8. Now this function result, this result will be storing 8 now. And now if we have the function, let's say one, we have x gives x into x, and the other one is x 2 into x. Now on the first index we have performed this, and we have this as the value, right? We have 8 as the value, and now our index will be moving to the 0th index. What our result has the value as, our result has 8 as the value. Now this result 8 will be passed here, and inside this function the operation will be performed. So we will be doing multiplying 8 into 8. 8 is getting multiplied and returned. So now the final result, what will be returned as 8 into 8, that is 64. So out of the loop this result will be returned. Return result. So this result is getting returned, and this else loop that we had started will be closing here. So this is the basic idea of what we will be doing in this question. Now let's move on to the code. So whatever little doubts are there, it will be cleared with it. So now let's move on to the code. So first what we were doing, we will take the length of the array. Okay, so let's take the length of the array. N is equals to functions dot length. Now we have the length of the array, right? What we will do, we will check if n is equals to 0 or not, and if it is equals to 0, then what we will do, we will just return x there. So return x. Otherwise what we have to do, we have to perform iteration, right? So before that we will take a result and initialize it with x. Now we will start iterating. It will start from n minus 1 and will continue till I is greater than or equals to 0, and we will do I minus minus. Now in this result we will be storing the value of each function, right? So each function will be returning some value, and we will be passing a parameter also, which will be result only, because we are initializing it with x. So every time it will be passing the x value as required. Now out of this loop what we will do, we have the final value, right? So out of this loop we will return res. Now let's try to run it. So the sample test cases have passed. Let's try to submit it. So this code has been accepted. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please let me know in the comments. And in order to continue with me in this journey, please subscribe my channel and hit the bell notification so you will be notified every time I post a new video. Thank you for watching.